thanks for coming. Before we start, can we occupy kaya the front seats? May prize daw yung yung mag-occupy ng front row from Pinky. Sige, don't be shy. Can you please occupy the front seats? Para later kasi there are people na riding late, they can occupy the back seats para they won't be disturbing us. Sige. Okay, sige. So again, good evening. Yeah, thanks for coming. Welcome to our free talk entitled Digital Marketing Hacks for Small Businesses. This free event is sponsored by OCCI, Organizational Change Consultants International. They're a training and consultancy company. So my company, Francia Internet Marketing Training and Consultancy, we partnered together to come up with this free event. Okay, so before we start, allow me to give you a little background about myself. Let me introduce myself. Sino dito yung graduates of OCCI? Those people who took the OCCI programs. Okay, only a few. Okay, that's good. Okay, sige, at least hindi hakot from OCCI. Okay, my name is Ben Francia. Again, I'm a digital marketing consultant. A little background how I started way back in the year 2000. My entry point in the industry is really web development. I was a web developer by profession, alright? So, spent about 2 years working with a startup e-commerce company. So, 2000 e-commerce, it was early stage of e-commerce at the time. That's how I started learning digital marketing. And after working for 3 years in that company, I left. Started to do freelance. Sabi ko, mas malaki pala kita when you do freelance. And you own your time. Natatawa si Okay, who is a freelance professional as well. Okay, so since then, I've been building websites for small businesses, small to micro businesses. And after about 2-3 years of doing web design, freelance web design, I started getting clients that are based offshore. Alright, so these are small businesses that are based in the West Coast, mostly California-based, and that's how I grew my business. It's really working with offshore companies. Okay, how I got these companies really through online then, right? So very basic digital marketing tactics at that time. So early stages, that was pre 2010. Okay, then I realized na it's a lot easier working with with companies that are based outside of the Philippines. Kasi una-una, you don't have to explain to them how things work. They have the budget, mas mabilis sila magbayad, alright? And at the time, selfish ng konti, sabi ko, I don't want to work with local companies. Okay? Meron ganong feeling, alright? That's a confession that I had that sentiment at that time. Pero there came a point that in my career, sabi ko, I really wanted to give back to the local community. Kasi I've received a lot of training and mentorship, mostly from my clients that are based in the US. Kasi during those times, they see me as an asset in their company. They not only just outsourced digital marketing service to me as a professional, but they really asked me to hire, train, and build their offshore teams here in the Philippines, doing digital marketing for their companies. So that's how I was able to piece everything together. Kasi before, parang bits and pieces. I know web development, I know SEO, I know social media marketing, but really understanding everything as a whole, together cohesively, as like coming up with a campaign and a plan. It was hindi ko naiintindihan yon. But having that kind of mentorship from these clients and mentors of mine, that's how I really was able to really grow as a digital marketing professional. So since then, I decided to start to do trainings. That's how I grew my business also locally. I started to do trainings and consultancy, mostly for small businesses. Alright. OCCI, how I got involved with OCCI is because of the trainings that they do. They do leadership trainings, and they have this Leadership Excellence Achievement Program, which is a performance coaching program, which I'm a graduate of. So I did trainings for them, and I was trained also to become a life coach by them. Okay, so that's me. So enough about me, and siguro you've seen na the materials that we've posted about the training. This is what what we'll be learning for this evening. Just to set expectations. Number one, I'll be discussing briefly how consumers look for services or service providers and suppliers online. It's really very important to understand yung yung path nila, para we'll know how to take advantage of that behavior. Number two, I'll be talking about the free tool which is readily available. It's not being maximized by a lot of companies that we can use for our business. Number three, I'll be giving my hacks, or these are really actionable steps to jumpstart your digital marketing for your small business. Okay? So some agreements before we continue. May request everyone to put your phones on silent mode. Number two, you can take photos. We're very open to that. Videos, of course. But should you decide to publish them in social media, just don't forget to tag OCCI, tag me, alright, and provide credits. Number three, participate and ask questions. Midway, if you have questions, any clarifications, feel free to interrupt me. Although at the end of the talk, we'll be dedicating a significant amount of time for Q&A. Yes, I'll be providing you a copy of this deck. Don't worry. So you don't have to take notes. You don't have to take photos of the slides for your notes. I'll be giving you a copy of the whole deck. Lastly, after the training, feel free to send us feedback through our Facebook page, either through OCCI or through my Facebook page. Again, another thing that I would want to reiterate as part of the expectations, I mentioned hacks. Okay, hacks meaning you cut through. All right, these are not really basic. All right, but these are techniques. Tactical siya. So meaning to say, maski wala kayong strategy in place, maski wala kayong, let's say, plan in place for your digital marketing campaigns, this is still applicable. Alright? And you can apply right away. Alright? As long as you really put into action the tips that I'll be sharing to you. And again, these hacks really aren't secrets. They've always been there. They're always readily available. Thing is, a lot of businesses are still not using it. So we have to later ma-realize natin, I'll be talking about those basic hacks. Sasabihin nyo, most likely, alam ko na yan eh. Right? Pero the bigger question is, why aren't we doing it? Okay. Alright? Any questions before we proceed? Sige, masyado. Okay, sige. Alright. Before I continue, I'd like to show you a very short video. Right? The title of this video is Social Media Revolution. Some of you might have watched this video already on YouTube. It's a very popular video on YouTube. They've been updating this for the last 4 or 5 years already with the latest stats on social media marketing. So later I'll talk more about it. But for now, please enjoy this short video. Sige, again, the title of the video is Social Media Revolution. If you want a copy of the video, just search it on YouTube. Social Media Revolution. You'll get different versions. Get the latest one. This is the 2017 version. I'm sure next year they'll come up with the 2018. Okay. Who recognizes this icon? Can you see a raise of hands? Mas konti. Okay, now obvious ang edad. Okay. The rest, you don't recognize this logo? Seriously? You don't? Hindi na. Hindi ba? Okay. This is the logo of the Yellow Pages. Okay. Di ba? Maraming commercial to, hindi ko na pinakita yung sample ng commercial. But this is how consumers back in the day look for suppliers, right? For businesses that they want to work with. Okay, for the benefit of those mga millennials dyan, okay, na hindi alam how to use this, it's basically a phone directory of businesses that's arranged alphabetically and according to industry. So if you want to look for, let's say for example, financial services provider, or let's say a plumber, you go to plumbing services, then it's arranged alphabetically. There's the name of the business and the phone number. So I start calling these people. Okay. Before ganyan, right? Or another journey or consumer journey would be they ask friends, relatives, peers, or colleagues, may kakilala ka ba supplier of, let's say contractor na, let's say, ng bahay, o nagbebenta ng semento, okay? So after getting a referral, a recommendation, you start looking for the contact number. So basically that's it. Ganun lang kasimple, right? So old school. After nun, na hindi na ginagamit yung phone book, naging patungan na lang siya, tungtungan na lang, okay? But now, it became more, I would say, complicated, but at the same time, more efficient. Right? These are what you see in front of you right now, are different like scenarios, how consumers behave online when it comes to looking for a supplier or looking for a business that they want to work with. All right. I assume most of you here either work in marketing for a business, own a business, or planning to put up a business of their own, and you want to take advantage of digital marketing and getting customers, right? Kasi yung expectation na sinet natin doon sa di ba? Doon sa poster, alright? So, very basic, it's very important for us to understand how they behave online, how they look for a supplier like us. So, just to show you an example of this, of these paths. Number one, search plus website. Normally, alright, ito yung very basic. I'm looking, for example, a digital marketing consultant. Bigay ko na example myself. I'm a digital marketing consultant. So, somebody who's looking for a digital marketing consultant would launch a web browser, go to Google, and Google the keyword digital marketing consultant. Right? Then sees a website of a digital marketing consultant, depending on the search result. Normally, you tend to click on either number 1, number 2, or number 3. Statistics from Google, normally people click, 40% of the people who search click on the first result. Right? So meaning to say, if there are 1,000 people searching for a digital marketing consultant on a monthly basis, you get around 400 people who visit your website. Right? So when they go to your website, they click on your link, the search result, they land on your page, they post an inquiry through the website. That's one path. That's one kind of journey. That's one iteration, or that's one variation rather. Next, still they search for a provider, digital marketing consultant, then sees the contact details. Normally, di ba, when you Google, let's say a provider or a keyword, if it's a business, Google gives them the contact details right away. Right? Once they see the contact details, they send an email. Either they send an email or they call. So those are 3 different variants already. Number 4, all right? Ito yung paborito ng Filipinos, being very social ang Filipinos. We like to ask questions. We really want yung may taong sumasagot sa atin, di ba? Nakakatawa nga whenever we conduct these kind of trainings, whenever we always put all the details in the poster. But always people keep on asking, saan po ba yung venue? Okay. Anong oras po ba? Alright. How much would it cost? Alright. It's not that they're not reading it. I guess ang normal parang behavior is for us, we want to be able to talk to people, right? To ask. We want to ask questions. So in this case, we ask people because Facebook right now is very popular. We tend to ask people on Facebook, right? We ask recommendations, all right? Then after we get the recommendation, after we get the referral, then we check them out. We go to Google and then we search. Okay? So I guess the big problem here is, say for example, we run a business. In my example, I'm a digital marketing consultant. Say for example, si Angela asked Brent, I'm looking for a digital marketing consultant. Look for Ben Francia. Okay. Sige, I'll check him out. So Google niya si Ben Francia. The problem there is, if he Googles Ben Francia and she doesn't see anything in the search results, nag-end na doon. Right? It's a lost opportunity. Right? So you see the importance of being able to be seen in the search results. So ask friends, then search. Right. Next, reverse lang. Okay? We search first, then we ask friends. We search for the same term, digital marketing consultant, then Ben Francia shows up. Then we ask people. We ask our friends. Si Angela, nakita niya si Ben Francia in the Google result, looking for a digital marketing consultant, then ask Brent, do you know Ben Francia? Either personally, by phone, or through social media. Okay. Next, search, then visits the store. This is another behavior. We look for a provider, we look for their address, right? Then we visit their store. In these cases, this kind of behavior is normally done in mobile. Kasi ready ka na to visit. Say for example, you're in the mall. Okay. You want to eat, let's say, Japanese food. You search best Japanese food in the area. Then a search result comes up, right? Then you visit that shop, or you visit that store, or you visit that restaurant. May isang variation pa yan. Before you visit the store, you ask friends. Okay? Another variant of that mobile search behavior would be store visit, then search. This happened to me, okay? In a lot of instances. There was a time when I was looking for an HD webcam. Okay? A couple of years ago. Hindi pa maganda yung mga webcams. Ngayon kasi maganda high definition, not really high definition, but really good quality webcams. I was looking for a really good quality webcam. I was going through the stores in Mega Mall. I saw a particular brand. Then I Googled it. Just to see what kind of reviews are out there. What are people saying about this particular brand? Kasi wala akong experience eh. Magre-rely lang ako doon sa recommendation ng sa nagbabantay ng store. I don't have enough insights. So, that's store visit, then search. Lastly, store visit, ask friends. I think I mentioned this already as a variant of search and store visit. So if you take a look at all these behaviors, consumer behavior in looking for a provider, there's really a common denominator. Number one is really search. People use search as a primary function in their consumer journey. Okay. Not so common, pero second would be social. Okay. The factor of interaction with other peers, recommendations, reviews. Lastly, mobile. Okay. So there's a current trend right now, or a tactic which is called SOLOMO, right? Social, local, and mobile. So this is an integration of these three different tactics to be able to take advantage of all these consumer behaviors. If you want to capture all these, I highly suggest that you consider this strategy having the integration of social, local, and mobile. Just to give a brief explanation, social, of course, social media. Alam na natin to. We're very social media savvy. I guess the most social media savvy na country would be the Philippines, having the highest penetration rate in Facebook, diba? Versus compared to sa sa number of usage in the internet. So having our Facebook pages for businesses, getting reviews, getting followers, having a lot of content, but tying it in with social, making sure that the content that we share in social media is targeted dun sa geolocation that we're targeting. In my case, I've optimized all my properties local for the Philippines because I'm really targeting the Philippine market. And I'm positioning myself as a Philippine company, serving Philippine companies. But aside from that, using Google, you can be very, mas laser targeted pa. As specific as city of Pasig. That's how I position my geo-targeting. Right? So making sure that all my properties, let's say, show up in searches, even on social media for location, namely Philippines and Pasig. Lastly, mobile. Making sure that we are visible, we are searchable, and we are accessible, our business, using mobile. Kasi most of the searches right now happen in the mobile phone. Most of the content that are being consumed in the internet are consumed using your mobile phone. Right? Okay, you watch TV, you use your computers, but at the same time, kahawak-hawak yung telepono nyo. Sino dito pagising sa umaga? When you wake up, before you brush your teeth, hindi pa nagsisipilyo, okay, first thing that you do is, what? Facebook, selfie, okay. Selfie talaga. Selfie talaga. Facebook, di ba? Right? Okay. So, I guess my point here is making sure that our websites is accessible through mobile. It's mobile optimized. Our social media places, our content are optimized for mobile consumption. Okay. So just to give you an example, how this kind of strategy has been working for my business in the past couple of years. Hindi pa uso to, parang accidentally, I fall into this kind of I fell into this kind of strategy without me really planning for it. Because I guess I was parang slowly optimizing bits and pieces of my properties until na-realize ko, hey, this is what I've been doing pala. Then overall, I try to optimize social, local, mobile, my business, to make sure that I take advantage of all those opportunities. And because of that, most of my businesses are inbound. I get inquiries, I get clients through my online properties, Facebook, my website, right, and the content that they publish online. So just to give you an example, if you Google Ben Francia, all if not most of the results that you get on page 1 is Ben Francia, my property. Talking about talking about me, what I do, my expertise, right? Showcasing my expertise in digital marketing. So most of them are my property, some of them are either blog posts or news posts from other people talking about me. So I made it a point na it's my profiles that will show up kasi people really Google me. If going back to the example earlier, if they look for a digital marketing consultant and they give my name as a recommendation, they would really Google my name, Ben Francia. So kailangan lumalabas yung name ko. Number 2, another example, I have optimized my properties for the keyword digital marketing consultant. Right? For your information, for those na hindi aware, when you Google kasi, it's Google customizes the results that it shows you based on your location, right? So, meaning to say, digital marketing consultant search results in the Philippines will be different in, let's say, for example, Australia. Right? So I've optimized my properties, my search visibility for the Philippines. So as you can see here, this is a paid result. This is an organic result, which is not based in the Philippines, but my property here shows up first. Next, digital marketing consultant in Pasig. Alright, so mas specific siya. Right, again, my Google My Business page shows up here. Google Marketing Consultant in the Philippines. My Google Business page shows up as number 1. Organic search result as number 1 as well. Digital marketing trainings. I'm not showing up in the organic search results because this is a very competitive keyword. A lot of companies are, even agencies are spending a lot of money to show up in the search results. They spend on search engine optimization, but what I did, I took advantage of Google My Business to show up on this big section of the page. Right. Same thing, digital marketing training in Pasig. Digital marketing trainings in the Philippines. Right. My property shows up number 1. Alright. Yeah, so this is how I took advantage of all those consumer search behavior. So having that kind of understanding how people behave online when they look for consumers. At the same time, being able to know what are the keywords that they look for or the keywords that they search for when they look for a provider like me, a digital marketing consultant. I optimize my social media places, I optimize my website and all of my content online to show up for those keywords. So, medyo high level. So I guess the big question is, how do we do that? So here, allow me to share to you the basic hacks, right? That would allow you to show up right away, right? In most cases, it's really instant. Okay? But in some cases, if you're using, let's say, for example, a very competitive keyword, for example, let's say, dog food, for example, it's a very broad, it's a very generic keyword. It's hard to rank for that keyword. But if you're very, if you're using a keyword na hindi ganun competitive, and syempre, let's say for example, if you are optimizing your searches for your brand names, for example, and wala namang kapareho na name, and hindi too generic yung name nyo, it's very easy to show up. So here, I'll be sharing my 5 hacks. Again, these aren't secrets. Most of these you know already, but a lot of companies aren't doing it yet. Still. Okay. Build a website. Palagi ko sinasabi to. Create a website. Right? Can you see a raise of hands of those businesses who don't have a website yet? Either have been running for several years or bago pa lang. Okay, that's good. Marami sa inyo meron ng website. Okay. In my experience, in my how many years ba? So 17 years experience in building websites. These are the usual excuses of people when I talk about, let's say, you build a website, you put up your website. Diba? Palagi nila sinasabi ito. Okay, number 1, I don't need one. Hindi ko kailangan ng website. Mabubuhay ang negosyo ko ng walang website. I'm a traditional business. I've been selling ribbons in Divisoria for the past 40 years, di ba? And kumikita kami ng malaki. Nabuhay kami ng walang website. Right? Number 3, my competitors don't have one either. So why do we need one? I don't know how. I don't know how to start. I don't know how to put up one, di ba? Lastly, it's too expensive, or I don't have the budget. Alright, I'm not saying these are wrong reasons for not putting up a website. May what do you call this? May point naman. Okay. But the thing is, which is better? Not really having a website or having one, alright? Yes, your business will survive without a website, but it won't it won't thrive. It won't grow. You won't be able to take it to the next level. Alright? Especially if your competitors are already online. My competitors don't have one. All the more you need to have, you need to put up a website. It's really a competitive advantage this time. I don't know how. That's most of the information that are available in the internet. There are free workshops and free trainings like these. There are service providers that you can, let's say, reach out to. Lastly, it's too expensive. In fact, it's really not. It's quite, it's very affordable as long as you know how to go about it. I have a theory about these reasons. It's really all about cost. It's too expensive. Okay? Nakwento ko to kay Brent when we were having this discussion about putting up a website. My theory is the perceived need of having a website is inversely proportional to the cost. Tama ba? So the higher the cost of putting up the website, mas bumababa ang perceived need of having a website. Diba? Paano ko na-theorize yan? Try to tell people na sinasabi, it's too expensive, I don't need a website. Try to offer them a free website. Diba? Sabihin mo na, sige, may gagawin na website mo for free. Sige, game! Diba? Biglang kailangan nila. Alright? So, sabi ko, it's really all about the cost eh. As long as they feel they get the value for the investment, and as long as hindi masakit sa bulsa, they'll pursue having a website. Pero hindi nila napaprioritize, probably because they haven't really experienced yet the value of having one. Right? So, just to give you parang benchmark of the cost of putting up a website. You have a domain name. You need to register a domain name on an annual basis. The domain name is your .com, ranging from 800 pesos to 4,000 pesos. Okay, per year. Depends on the domain name. Kung .ph yan, normally mas mahal. Web development cost. Ito normally yung mataas, the one-time cost. This is how I've been earning since I started doing freelance web development. You earn somewhere between 20,000 to 120,000 one time to put up a website, depending on the functionality. If it has, let's say, a very complicated functionality, like let's say, for example, e-commerce, normally tumataas ang cost niya. Web hosting, you subscribe to this service, you pay somewhere around 500 to 5,000 pesos. Maintenance, somewhere around 1,000 to 5,000 pesos every month. So more or less, you end up somewhere between 1,000 to 3,000 pesos per month, maintenance, plus one-time development fee. Normally, this is the rate if you don't know how to put up a website. But if you have some basic knowledge, experience on WordPress, on web development, on web design, normally, hosting and domain name lang ang gastos mo. Alright? So what are my options? If, for example, 1,000 pesos still isn't affordable, there are still other options. You can still have your own website without really spending that much. These are what we call DIY web development platforms or website builders. DIY meaning do it yourself, right? We have Weebly, WordPress, and Wix. I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with this. Okay, so I've used all these. These are very good tools. WordPress especially. This is an industry standard for a lot of businesses, even big companies like, for example, CNN, even the White House in the US is using WordPress for their blog. Okay, so these are really stable and mature platforms. You can start using this. The big disadvantage lang, I guess, especially for business owners and using these platforms, it's do it yourself. Kasi a lot of business owners, they don't have the time. So when they use these kind of platforms, they end up hiring other people to build the websites for them. So you still spend. Pero I guess the upside, rather than building it ground up, this is a lot cheaper. Pero if you have the time to experiment, to tinker with the tool, go ahead. you won't spend really a lot of money using these platforms. This is a tool that we created, that we developed, Jiffy.ph. It's very similar to the website builders that I mentioned earlier. But the big difference here, it's still done for you rather than do it yourself, right? With the same price point. So I won't be, I won't be talking about this, this platform. I won't be, kumbaga, selling this to you. But this is an option for you guys as well. Yes, we built this. This was built and run by my company, right? As an advocacy for small and micro businesses. Para small companies, small players can afford to put up a website, without the high price tag, without the hassles of putting up one. Right. When you put up a website, make sure that it's optimized for mobile. Marami pa ring negosyo dyan. They've been online for quite some time. Hindi updated the websites and hindi optimized for mobile viewing. So that's number one. That's number one app. Okay. If you don't have a website yet, please after this register your domain name. Go to Weebly, WordPress or Wix, or go to Jiffy.ph and start evaluating these options. Hack number 2, create a Google My Business page. Who is familiar with Google My Business page? Right? There are a few. Right. Google My Business page is this widget that shows up on the right side of the Google search result. Right? So basically, Google My Business is Google's proprietary business listing platform. So ito yung ito yung yellow pages that's owned by Google. So surprisingly, ito yung free tool na matagal na nandyan na hindi ginagamit ng maraming tao. It's free. Okay, it's free. Please start using it.
Is that the website?
Go to google.com/business and you'll see this page. All you have to do is to create an account. Sign in and create an account. And create a business listing. So when you talk about business listing, directory. So you put the name of your company, your address, your contact details, your opening hours, you add photos, that's it. It shows up in the search results right away. For some companies, merong instances kasi na automatically nakikreate si Google ng listing. If, for example, you have a high search result, or there's a tendency for your mataas yung demand, mataas yung demand for that kind of businesses, Google would automatically create a Google My Business page for you. So try to Google the name of your business. If you haven't created a Google My Business listing yet, and something shows up, alright, a Google My Business widget shows up on the Google search result, it can only mean two things. Number one, Google created for you, or somebody else created it for you. Normally, dito sa section na to, meron siyang link that says, claim this business. So if it's been created already, either by somebody else or by Google, all you need to do is just to claim it. So when you click on that link, there's a process na that you have to go through. Merong validation process. There might be instances that Google would ask for some documentation just to prove that you really do own that business. To validate, let's say, the address, they even sent you by snail mail a code to confirm na marireceive mo. So once you receive it by mail, you put in that code, then it automatically, validated. You've claimed that Google My Business page already. Okay. So again, go to this page, google.com/business, and create a listing. Right. These are sample insights or sample analytics that that as a business or an owner of a Google My Business page would get on a regular basis. So This kind of report is the search queries. How Google searchers or consumers find my Google My Business page. And these are the keywords that they use. So this is just a snapshot for 1 month. Alright? So the keywords that people use and the keywords that they use to find me and to show up in my page, Google My Business page, are digital marketing course, Francia, marketing training, digital marketing courses, IT consultancy services, digital marketing services, so on and so forth. So as you can see, it's highly relevant to the keywords that I'm optimizing for. And I really show up in those search results. Alright. Another insight, again, 1 month snapshot. There are a total of 830 impressions, meaning 830 people who've searched for certain keywords who have seen my page. Seen, impressions to. 830. The one marked green are direct, meaning these are people Googling my brand name, meaning Ben Francia, or Francia Digital Marketing, or Francia Internet Marketing. Alright. These on the other hand, the majority, discovery keywords, customers who find your listing searching for category or product or services. Ito yung mga digital marketing related na services or keywords. Not necessarily. They've seen my page. They've seen, meaning to say, nag-search sila ng keyword na yun and nakita yung page ko. Okay. These are impressions. Pero syempre, magkakaroon ng conversion rates yan. Out of, let's say, 830, certain number would click and certain number would convert to, let's say, inquiries. Alright? I won't be able to handle all 830 inquiries in a month. I don't need to. Okay? This is a lot already for me. A small percentage of this is really enough. Kasi isa lang naman akong consultant. Alright? Meron ako ibang negosyo from the consultancy. But the consultancy part is just me. Alright? So what do you do? After you created the Google My Business page, these are the different things that you can do to optimize your Google My Business page. Kasi syempre, competition pa rin yan. If you are a highly competitive niche, keywords you're using are highly competitive as well, you need to outrank your competitors. Number one, make sure that you use your keywords. Use your keywords as part of the title of your business, title of the listing. You need to belong in the right category. There's a portion in the listing where you put in your description, right? The profile of the business. Make sure that you use your keywords there. Number two, upload really nice photos. Okay? Kasi if you don't upload a photo, Google would automatically use a photo for you. And in most cases, hindi siya maganda. Okay? And photos, di ba? Alam naman natin, speaks 1,000 words. Okay? And this is how we attract people. This is the first thing that they see. Okay? So make sure that you use really attractive photos, really nice photos. Kasi also, in addition, once you've uploaded the photos, you can post photos on a regular basis. There isn't any limit to the photos that you can post. Parang Facebook to. Okay. So the more photos you upload, and the more frequent, the more regular you upload photos, the higher credits Google would give you in the rankings. Add your contact details, I guess that's basic. Make sure na yung phone number nyo, yung address nyo, even your email addresses are there. Next, solicit reviews. People can post a review on for your business. Organically, this will grow, right? But if you're just starting out, you can solicit reviews either from friends, from people you've worked with, from existing clients, alright? So, pwede i-seed yan. Lastly, you can post updates. On Facebook, on your Facebook page, you can post updates, right? Yung status posts. It's the same thing. On your Google My Business page, you can also post updates. Pero, I guess the big difference dito, hindi siya parang timeline. Once you post something, a week after, hindi na siya visible. Okay. So, it gives your visitors additional content to consume, but at the same time, the more frequent and the more regular you post updates on your Google My Business page, the higher you rank in the search results. Right, so that's hack number 2, Google My Business page. Hack number 3, create a blog. Right. Sino din dito may blog sa kanilang websites? Si Carlo. Okay. Sige siya. Okay. Whenever I talk about business blogging, the first thing that business owners would ask, what do I blog about? Okay. This answers that question. Identify the sweet spot. Kasi kadalasan, businesses, when they post content, not just in their blog, but normally if you see content that they post in social media, it's really product and brand-centric rather than consumer or customer-centric. The key here is really to identify the intersection, the sweet spot. We're too brand or company-centric. It's, in most cases, it's all about what we want to say. Okay? Rather than what they're looking for. The key here is to find that intersection. The intersection between what we want to say and what they're looking for exactly. Okay? So that's how you become relevant in